Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Gabrielle Ray and I present cases of missing persons, unsolved homicides, and the unidentified. I am back. I'm making videos again. My computer crashed twice and this is the third computer I've gone through. So I apologize for the lack of good quality in the video department. Something I can't really control right now. It's a lack of money. You know how that's going right now. And it took a long time for my microphone to work with this computer. I had to fiddle around with it. And yeah, but I'm back. I'm making videos again. And I am very, very happy to say that I am getting these voices out here, getting these names out here, and just presenting these cases again because it's so very important to me and it's very important to the community to get the information out here and hopefully bring in some tips to law enforcement. Today I will be presenting the case of Harold Cooper III, and he's been missing since August 19th, 2001 out of Bladensburg, Maryland. And there is a discrepancy in that, for some agencies report that he vanished from Fort Washington, Maryland. He was born on September 12, 1980. He is a black male who stands at 5'7" and weighs 220 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes, and was last seen wearing a gray Harley-Davidson t-shirt, gray sweatshorts, and black swim shoes. He was 20 years old at the time of his disappearance. He grew up in Washington, D.C., and was the oldest of 5 siblings. He attended Anacostia High School and had a job at a warehouse at the time of his disappearance. He grew up in the district and was very, very close to his mother, Brenda Evans. She also stated that he was very protective of her as well. He didn't like no guys looking at me. He's like, "What you looking at my mother for?" says his mom. His mother is a Fort Washington nurse, and his father was beaten to death when Harold was a child. He was last seen in the 3600 block of 55th Avenue. He was getting into a white car, a 4-door 1992 Chevy Caprice, with an acquaintance. He called his grandma to say he was going to visit her at her home in Virginia, but he never arrived and was never heard from again. He was less than 1 month shy of his 21st birthday when he disappeared, and the circumstances of his disappearance are unclear, and authorities aren't sure whether foul play was involved. Police interviewed and re-interviewed his friends and some of his family members as recent as 2011. They consulted with now retired detectives who worked the case. We've considered foul play. We've considered some sort of accident. We're continuing to match the description of John Doe's to him and any remains that turn up, but so far we've had no matches, said Julie Parker, Prince George County's spokeswoman for the police department. Daily reality is not so joyous, said his mother. She does not celebrate holidays because it's too painful to without her son. His mother keeps his clothes packed in a closet, and when family members were donating some of the stuff that was left behind to United Way, she insisted that they leave his stuff alone. She is just waiting for him to come home. She says that the waiting is not easy, and she calls the police department again and again and keeps handwritten notes in her journal of people that she has talked to about this case. She has reached out to news media and national missing persons organizations, hoping that they might be able to help. Perhaps because the case is old, or because he wasn't a celebrity, everybody's interest seemed to fade, but his mother's grief hasn't. She tosses and turns at night and thinks about her son, and it replays again and again in her head. It's like you're just lost in the dark, and that's my baby, says his mother. "It's gonna be okay. Be strong for Harold," said his Aunt Bonnie Harris, pulling his mother closer to her chest as she wept. His mother's life is dominated by her nursing job and her other kids. "Who you going with? I need to know names and numbers," says his mother to her other kids whenever they are going out. She is doing things with her other kids to help keep her mind off of Harold, her missing son. His family recently celebrated his 30th birthday, and family and friends scarfed down fried chicken, his favorite food, and blasted Atomic Dogs, his favorite song. The party was a happy distraction and an opportunity to pay tribute to Harold's life. They released balloons in a gesture of hope that he will return. But deep down, his mother has her doubts. But if he walks through the door tomorrow, a bed is ready. All he has to do is say, "Mom, I'm on my way, and I'll be frying that chicken," says his mother. Harold would be 41 years old today. Unfortunately, that is all the information I have on the disappearance of Harold Cooper the third. It's very, very upsetting that we don't have more information, and it seems that the family has really not as much information as law enforcement does. If law enforcement even has that much information at all, we don't know. But, are they still looking for the white car? Since it is an older case, I'm sure that the leads have fizzled out and that the bolo is probably still not in action. But it's still important that we look for him and we try and get as much information as we can. And I hope this video reaches somebody in Maryland who has some information, or a family member or a friend, or even a neighbor, or somebody that, might have witnessed something that they think is very small, but even the smallest bit of information could lead to the biggest break in a case. This family has experienced enough heartbreak and enough pain and grief. It is about time that somebody comes forward and says what they know. Because I know somewhere somebody knows something. There's no way Harold could just vanish off the face of this earth without somebody knowing something. And especially if he was getting in a car with somebody, we don't know the last person he was seen with by name, but it was an acquaintance. So if, this acquaintance has any information, I'm sure that, they have come forward and talked to law enforcement, but where did they go last? Who was he last seen with? We don't know. And unfortunately, that's all the information we have, is the information that's put out on these media articles. And unfortunately, that's not much information. I feel that there should be more tips and leads that are called in. And though this case is from 2001 and we're in 2021 right now, it's been 20 years. It's been 20 years of nothing but heartbreak for this family. So it's about time that somebody steps up to the plate and has information that they've been holding in and tells law enforcement, because his mother, his aunt, other family members, and friends have been wondering long enough. It's been too long. If anybody knows anything about this case, please contact the Prince George County Police Department at 301-352-1200. His agency case number is 0123-208-51. And once again, Harold Cooper III was born on September 12, 1980. He is a black male who stands at 5'7" and weighs 220 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a gray Harley-Davidson t-shirt, gray sweatshorts, and black swim shoes. And if you have any information on this case, please do not hesitate to call it in, because this family deserves justice and closure and peace. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful night.